What is it that you want everybody to remember about Bert Kreischer?
It's funny. I talked about that in therapy. My legacy is I've just tried to make everyone have a good time. I want everyone to have a blast. I want everyone to be happy. I don't need to be known as one of the greatest comics. I don't need to be known as one of the greatest storytellers, one of the greatest actors. I'll never get known as one of the greatest podcasters. But people go, man, he was a cool dad and he was a cool husband, and his relationship with his wife seemed like they have fun. Him and his kids always seemed like they had a great time, and I love how open he was about their relationship.
Welcome to the first episode of Travis Take Two. I'm Jordan Travis, and this is my little big brother, Devon, my role model, my idol, someone I've looked up to my entire life, and here we are, and let's go.
Yeah, man, crazy, huh? I mean, 25 years old, I'm 34, sitting here in a podcast. Now I'm certain that, and when we were young kids, we thought we'd still be playing at this moment, and I know for me personally, I've always looked forward to the opportunity to working with you, not under these circumstances, but I think that what we're going to be able to do here is going to be really cool. And I think at the end of the day too, right? You got two brothers. We both went to Florida State. We both got to quote unquote live our dream, and this opportunity to come back here and provide a great message to everyone out there, I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, bro, it's going to be cool. Obviously, it's a little bit earlier than I expected, but you always learn. It's never your plan. It's always God's plan. So I'm thankful to be here with you, bro, and I look forward to helping people out across the world and definitely in Tallahassee. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Remember to follow Travis Take Two on all platforms. Like, comment, and share, and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to our podcast. Let's get started.
Let's do it, baby. I just got to know. I started this TV world, which I thought I'd never have any interest in when I know my career ended. How are your nerves this morning knowing you had to wake up today?
I'm nervous right now. I woke up today at probably 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'm like, oh my God, it feels like I'm about to play a game. I will do this every single day because you get those nerves again, like you're about to play football again. It's nerve-wracking for sure, but I'm happy I'm here with you, bro. We've been talking about this for a long time, and I'm excited.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Jordan Travis, his entire career, right? Like every interview you ever did, you were like 3, 4, 5-word answer, like super to the point, and here you are behind a mic. So I know I'm super excited to hear what you got to say, and I'm excited to take a deep dive into your career because, yeah, we're brothers and we're like best friends, but all throughout your life and career, you've had this special ability to just stay locked in on what actually mattered right at the moment. And you were never really too interested in talking about what the game felt like or what practice was like or how you progressed throughout a season. You just wanted to do your job, leave the field, and go home. And, I know as a former athlete, that's the hardest thing to do, right? Is to be able to separate that on-field, in locker room lifestyle from Jordan Travis, the human. Where'd you learn that?
You. Growing up and watching you, how you treated everybody. That's what everyone always asks me is how do you stay so humble? How do you handle the moments where everyone's running up to you after a game or you have a horrible game and you have horrible tweets coming at you nonstop?
Easy. Yeah, we'll get there.
Watching you and how you handled your business, how you walk outside of a stadium and all the little kids are standing there and you see all your other teammates. Not all of them, obviously. There's some good guys out there. But that walk past the little kids, that I was one of those little kids. You were at some point in your life, and watching you stop and sign every single autograph and how you never put anything on you. At the end of the day, it's a team game. Baseball's a little bit more individual when it comes to hitting, but
a little harder too.
Way harder. But yeah, man, you've always been my role model. I've always looked up to you, and obviously how you treat people is one of the most special things, and how everyone talks about you made me as a little kid be like, I want to be like that one day. I want people to be able to talk about him like he's a good person. He's a person before a player. That's always been the biggest thing with me.
God, bro, you're trying to make me cry, man.
It's too early. Don't do that right now.
Let's stay focused. Thank you, brother. I look back though, right? And I'm like, man, growing up in our family was crazy, right? Like dad, super strict, super to the point. Hey man, you wake up, you treat people the right way. The world gives you back what you put in. You go to school, you bring home good grades. Some good grades. Some, whatever.
Not too good here.
It's okay. Dad and mom, they always preached to us like, hey man, if you do your job in school and you bust your tail every single day to be whatever it is you want to be, right? Like we weren't forced to play sports. I mean, I feel like maybe you felt that, right? Like growing up under me being a baseball player, but I mean, I know for me personally, and I'm certain that you would agree, but you know, we have great parents, and I think that's where everything, you know, starts. And me now as a parent, and got another baby on the way, got a 1-year-old already. It all starts with our parents. So I know me looking back, right? I'm like super grateful as I've gotten older.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like our parents did such a good job with you. I mean, you being 10 years older than me, it was kind of like your responsibility to take me under your wing. And I mean, as far back as I can remember, I mean, looking up to you and hanging out with you every single day and watching how you did everything. And it's like all the little things in life obviously pushed me. And I feel like dad and mom kind of took a step back and allowed you to kind of show me the way. And that was the coolest part of everything, because obviously when you have your role model and the person you look up to the most, being your brother is pretty darn cool. So I was able to just follow in your footsteps, bro.
I mean, yeah, dude, it was freaking awesome, bro. I mean, my entire life, right? Like you mentioned the 10-year gap, and you know, I think back to my childhood, and you know, Aunt Nink dated a professional baseball player, and we grew up here in West Palm Beach, Florida. The Braves spring training was right here, and you know, I feel like I grew up with no choice but to be a baseball player. I went to all the spring training games with Aunt Nink. Mom and Dad were having to work. Aunt Nink worked at night, so she had the ability to watch me throughout the day. And all I ever knew was I wanted to be a baseball player. And then I got old enough to realize that more than being a baseball player, I wanted to be an older brother. Took quite some time, and I begged Mom and Dad for forever. And to be honest, I don't think I really understood how two people make a baby at the time, but I would beg Mom and Dad all the time. To make me a big brother. And on May 2nd, freaking 2000, bro, I mean, you were born and my life changed. And I know for me personally, like I felt this like mission the second you were born to like make sure that I do everything the right way. Yeah. To be able to show you the way it's supposed to be done. And so I guess I'd say thank you because, you know, a lot of my little bit of success that I had in my lifetime and my career on the field had a lot to do with you, because I just wanted to show you, you know, the way it's supposed to be done.
That's always the first thing I say is they say, who do you look up to the most? And most people say some celebrity that they obviously watched growing up that they don't know as, I mean, your best friend. And my best friend literally is my brother. So, I mean, being able to say that in every interview I've ever had was always so special. And that's always the first thing I always talk about is I wouldn't be here without, I mean, God, obviously, our family, but you and how you just did everything, how hard you worked. Yeah, bro. So I'm so happy we're here in this time.
Let's do it, bro.
2025. I mean, I would have never thought it, but bro, once again, like it's all part of God's plan. And I'm happy that we've had this opportunity and we've had our experiences that we're able to help people across the world.
Amen. I mean, unfortunately for me, I grew up like this big Miami Hurricanes fan, sadly. Shit. And look, bro, I mean, I grew up in South Florida. I'm a 90s baby, 1991. I mean, the Hurricanes, they were the ish, and I had dreams of playing in the big leagues. So for me, college was like, whatever.
You know, yeah, don't say that. We don't want to give them anything at all.
But I guess that leads me to my question to you. And I think back to your childhood. You know, we lived in West Palm Beach, and I went to school in Tallahassee. All 3 years I spent in college, you guys never missed one weekend series. I mean, that's a 6+ hour drive. You guys made it every single weekend. Like, what do you remember most? Like, what's like those special moments that you remember, like on those trips back and forth to Tallahassee?
I mean, getting out of school every single Friday. I mean, I missed a lot of school, and at the time I was very excited. Mom pulled us out of class early. I probably went to one period every Friday. I got to a point where my science teacher, I remember she gave me a stack of homework that was probably an inch long, just for all the classes that I missed and work that I had to do. So yeah, I had to catch up a lot. But yeah, bro, I mean, those trips up there, sitting in the back with Jada, our sister, and I mean, we went at it. We fought. I mean, imagine two siblings, 2 years apart, a boy and a girl, and we're in the back of a car for 6 hours every single weekend, there and back.
I don't know how you did it.
Yeah, it was hard, but it made her tougher and made me a lot tougher. But yeah, man, it was a blessing to go up there and, I mean, be Devon Travis's little brother, put that jersey on and be able to watch Florida State. Yeah, bro. I mean, that was the coolest thing. But like, how did it feel? I would say like having your family, because I feel like that's one thing that we take for granted as people that have such great supporting cast. How did it feel having your family at every single game?
Yeah, it was special. And, you know, I think that for athletes, right, like we spend so little time like focused on anything that's outside of our focus zone, right? Like when I was in college, like, and I was on that field, like, sure, I was a student athlete, but my focus was making sure I did everything I could to take care of that name on the front of my jersey. And I never really spent a ton of time, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Like looking back at like what it meant to me to have you guys there every single weekend. I mean, that trip is tough. And sure, I did it all the time for you in football season, but you guys play, I don't know, what's that, 12 games a year, and 6 to 7 of them are at home. So it was a lot easier for me. I mean, we played every weekend, and you know, we had, I don't know, 9, 10 home series a year, but it was special, right? And I think also, when I like take it past that like next point of like, I think it was so special, and I was so blessed and lucky to be able to have you guys there every weekend, that when I got drafted after my junior year of college and I went off to pro ball, I will never ever in my life forget the day that I showed up. We are so spoiled at Florida State, bro. I mean, like we flew private. I never went through security. Mike Martin, rest in peace, the greatest coach to ever live. But he treated us like big leaguers in college, and I'll never forget the day I showed up. I flew into Buffalo, New York, and it was my very first professional ball game, New York Penn League. Got drafted by the Tigers. I played for the Connecticut Tigers. And we show up to Batavia, New York, and we pull up to a Days Inn. And I'm like, huh? You know, Annie, she's like, honey, we're here. And I'm in the back seat like, Annie, I think you got the wrong like address. Like, oh, honey. No, honey, this is right. And I just remember thinking like immediately, like, how the hell am I going to go from the big leagues of college at Florida State to staying in this Days Inn? Like, how can I do this alone without my family? And I won't get into too many details about what it was like when I walked into that hotel and I walked into that room and I saw my 19-year-old roommate looking at his computer, laying on my bed with no sheets on. The cabinet in the bathroom was missing. He's on his computer and he says, hey, Poppy, how are you? Poppy, can you help me understand this? I'm like, well, what do you got, bro? Just $1.2 million in his bank account. That was my introduction to professional baseball. Nice. Like, oh boy, here we go. This is really going to be a treat. So anyway, I look back at those times in college, right? And I think about my family and I'm like, man, like I don't know if I ever actually lived alone. You know, like you guys were there for me every single damn weekend. That I don't really think I ever figured out life at all until I got to pro ball.
That was one of the biggest things for me. I mean, that I'm dealing with on a daily basis now. I mean, I always wanted to be with my family, but now being with your parents every single day when
I was
you wake
living
up,
at home, baby.
oh my God, you will go crazy. Obviously having your mom there to make your bed for you every morning is awesome, but
damn, still?
Yeah, she does. She does still make my bed.
Maybe you are the favorite.
I know. Not mom's favorite, dad's favorite. But it's definitely tough. There. But yeah, man, we're so blessed to have our family. I went from being, my sister was my roommate, to Macy being my roommate, my cousin, to my best friend being my roommate. I mean, I've lived with all of our family members, so it's crazy. But yeah, I got blessed, bro.
Everybody probably thinks, and I think it's pretty well known based off like my Twitter is basically Jordan Travis's burner account in the sense that I'm not afraid to defend you on Twitter, and I know that it was pretty cool how that flipped, because when I was playing, I remember you and Jada going at people pretty good. I don't know if I've asked you, like, how you doing, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm sure not many people have asked you, but like,
Yeah.
I guess I'll take my opportunity right now. Like,
Yeah.
how you doing?
You know what, man? I'm blessed. I mean, I get to wake up every single day, and I think the past few months, just in itself, just as the past, we'll just talk about the past few months right now, have been tough. I mean, waking up every day and not having a purpose or not knowing what your purpose is, and that's been one of the hardest things for me, because you go from being Jordan, the quarterback, to Jordan, what am I? So, I mean, I wake up every day and I'm just like, damn, man, like, what am I? So I've gotten so big into my faith and my relationship with Jesus Christ. And I think that's been the biggest thing for me, is being able to find my purpose, bro. And I'm probably gonna get some tears in my eyes, because like my life has changed over the past, 7 months, going through anxiety and having depression and finding about all that stuff. We might have to pause it for a second, but like dealing with this stuff and like being able to have people there for you. My girlfriend's there for me all the time, having you guys there for me. And it's been a blessing, but like, I feel like we take it for granted, the little things of, like I wrote in my journal today, is like, we wake up and we're either sad about what we don't have, or there's someone out there right now that's waking up just glad to open their eyes. I'm able to use my feet and walk. I mean, my ankle ain't the best, but I can use my feet and walk. I have my hands, I got my eyes, I can breathe, I can see, I can hear, and I have to stop taking those things for granted, bro. We're blessed if we just wake up every single day, and that's been the biggest thing for me. Is through this journey, there's been a lot of ups and downs early on in my career. Obviously, all the stuff that went down, the booing against Notre Dame. I mean, that was one of the biggest turning points in my life. I thought that was going to make me strong, and there was never going to be anything harder. And here goes 2025. Welcome. Retiring from football. Yeah, man, it's been a journey, but I'm so glad I'm here today, and I'm stronger than I've ever been. And I'm thankful for everything that's ever happened, because I mean, the trips I've taken in the past 7 months, bro, like you've been a part of all of it. It's calling you, crying, freaking not knowing what to do. And shoot, bro, we're here and I can help someone else. So that's all that matters to me, is as long as I'm able to help use what I've been through to help someone else. So yeah, bro, thankful.
I got to be honest. I guess I feel bad for never asking you how you're doing.
You ask me every day, every morning.
But I think there's so much power in what you said, right? Like, you know, obviously we're very similar in the sense of like the route that our careers took, right? Like on a much smaller national scale, you know, I got to the big leagues at 23 years old, and I made my debut in April, and on opening day in Yankee Stadium, and obviously our whole families are there, and it was one of the coolest days of my life. But in those moments from 2015 to when my career, last time I ever stepped foot on a baseball field, 2018, spent 5 years in the big leagues, and I was on the field for about half of them. My career ended after 11 knee surgeries at 27 years old. Was the last time I ever put on cleats, and I had the ability to lace them up. And I remember, I remember when my career ended, and I guess like I'd prefer to go back to in 2015, that spring training, to your point of what you're saying. And I'll never forget Steve Tollison. We were competing for the same spot, and in that spring training in 2015, I went through every single like older guy on the team, and I'm like, hey, like, and if I make this team, like, what's your best piece of advice that you could give me as I'm starting my career? And, I got like all like the normal answers. A bad plan's better than no plan. And hey, like, make sure you get your rest and eat correctly. Hey, this is the hardest game in the world. Like, don't ever get too up. Don't ever get too down. But there was one line that Steve Tollison told me that like stuck with me forever. And it's kind of like trippy how it's like kind of come back full circle for me and you both. And Steve Tollison said to me, Devon, never forget that baseball is what you do, and it will never be who you are. And I think there was a point in time for me, right, where 2019, I get to spring training. I play in my last ever baseball game. It's crazy to think that like it was my last time like in a 2018 was my last regular season game, but 2019 was my last time on a baseball field in a uniform representing my team with the last name Travis on the back of my jersey. And I played 5 innings. Everything was perfectly fine. I went 0 for 3 like normal. And I get in the car. I drive home 35 minutes. I get out of my car and I go to take a step and my knee completely locks up. Like perfectly fine. Everything was great. I was so happy I got through a game. Hallelujah. It's going to be a great year. And I get out of the car and I literally can't walk. Proceeds 3 knee surgeries and my career being completely done. There's a lot of dark times, right? And I know that it's a lot fresher for you, right? Like having to medically retire 24, 25 years old, just getting your career started. Like at least I got a taste, you know? I got to like leave my mark a little bit. And yours was way more public, right? I think about that day at ESPN, like you're on the TV, and I'll never forgive whoever made that choice to leave Florida State out. I'll never forgive them. But I'll never forget that day, right? Like you're in there after having that surgery and you're sitting in the room with your leg up and everything that happened with you was everywhere. Everything that happened with me was like, I'm just a little second baseman whose career ended sadly, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Like, so sorry, go ahead, live your life. But it was dark, you know, it was dark.
Yeah.
And I always, the second my career ended, my focus shifted to you. Like you were just starting college, you were at Louisville. I was so focused on you. That was kind of like my escape. And my biggest hope was always like, I just pray that his career ends in a better way than mine ended. And sure enough, here we go. Like your career ended the same damn way mine ended, man. Just terrible. But once again, right, like if I could provide you some advice, like, and I love where you're headed. Like, I mean, excuse me, football was just what you did.
I was like, damn.
Jordan Travis is who you are, man. You got big things ahead, bro. My second career has been so much better than my first.
Yeah.
And the good thing for you is you're a little bit younger than when my career ended, bro. So you got 2 years of a head start.
Yeah, awesome. It's a
and
blessing.
plot twist, bro. We're here together.
I know,
we wouldn't be
sick.
doing this, man.
I know.
It's amazing.
Sick.
It's amazing.
It is sick.
Super excited, bro. It's fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff.
Back on that topic of the dark times. I mean, sitting on the field on November 18th, I believe, 2023 was, I mean, knowing me, I felt my leg snap. It didn't feel like anything. And next thing I know, I looked down and my leg looked a little bit different. So being who I am, you know how I'm a little bit of a little douche. I turned to the sideline and I want to show everybody what my ankle looks like. I mean, that was just the first thing that came to my mind. I'm not in any pain. But that moment was one of the craziest moments of my life, and I wouldn't change a thing. Like people say, like, could you go back and change it? No, bro. It's made me stronger, and one day I'm going to be able to help someone else get through something similar I've been through. So there was a guy from can't remember his name, but Oklahoma that did something very similar to me. And I saw it and I'm like, this is my chance.
The next year, right?
Yeah. So I should know his name. I think I'm a little bit nervous right now. I can't even think, but I reached out to him on Twitter, bro. And I'm just like, hey man, like I'm here for you. And sent him a long message. And he was so excited that he got a message from me.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you have no idea how much this means to me. And like, being able to help someone else, I'm like, dang, this is my chance to help somebody else, bro. You feel like Superman. You're at the high of your life and you feel like you're on top of the world. And sometimes it takes a little bit of humbling. I needed to be humbled. I feel like I was living a life at that moment. Like I always like to say is I was living a life where it wasn't who I was. I felt like I was above other people. No matter how humble I was and treated other people, I was different, bro. I wasn't Jordan myself that looked up to you, that mom and dad raised. And that was the biggest thing for me is like looking back is like, was I living the life? No, I was getting drunk a lot. I was going out too much. It was kind of my way of coping with my stress, but I wasn't living a life that I wanted to live. So that was my humbling moment, bro. And I'm grateful, bro. I'm back down to earth and going to church every Sunday. And I'm just freaking blessed I'm here, bro, with you. That's it.
We're just humans, right? Like, and I think that's the coolest part about what we're doing here, right? Is we've always discussed the stresses and the ebbs and flows and the tweets and the Instagram DMs and the negativity mixed in with the positivity and the highest moments in the world followed by the lowest moments in the world. Like, how do you get back up? We're humans, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with you going out to party and drink, bro. Like, heck no. Like, if anything, I look back at my career now and I'm like, I wish I would have did it more.
Yeah, I did enough for both of us. I can
Well, it's okay. Well, you always get to have more.
No one
man.
had any idea either. I was low key about it.
But it's good though, right? Like that.
Yeah, you need it.
That's what freed you up to be you.
Yeah. The biggest lesson I've learned throughout my career is these college recruits, bro, that go to college. You have to see through all this stuff. Ask questions for past players, because there are coaches out there that blow smoke up your butt and tell you the best thing that walk. But when you get there, things change. So ask some questions.
5-star, 4-star, 3-star, no star. You show up on campus, you're just another guy.
That's
right?
it. That's
you
it.
You gotta earn your stripes. So it sounds to me then like if you were to recommend, like, hey, this is the route, or this is what I would look for in a coach for your own son, it would be, make sure you find a coach who's going to be real with you, that's going to push you to your limits, that's always going to be honest, right? And that at the end of the day, they're going to love and care about your son the same way in which you feel like 100%. You care about your son. And when you send your guy to a coach that ends up being like a second father.
So if you have an offer from Florida State, I would definitely recommend considering it. That's what I gotta say, because
yes,
that's
this
my
is
main
the Florida
thing.
State recruiting podcast.
Yes,
welcome.
it is. But yeah, that's one of the biggest things, bro. I just feel like these coaches turn into your second dad, because at the end of the day, I mean, you see your dad on the weekends, and when it came to those games, I see dad for 5 minutes, and I don't want to talk about
you
football.
want to know part of us, bro.
I don't want to talk about football. I don't want to talk about nothing. When you leave the field,
how the hell did you do that?
I mean, that's the biggest thing, bro. You have to make it two different lives. And I feel like we get so caught up in the football or the baseball. You have to have a life outside. And that was one of my things, bro. I don't want to talk about football. If I leave the football field, do not ask me a question about football. If I'm out to dinner, I don't want to talk about football. I want to live in the moment, be able to spend time with my friends and family. And I feel like a lot of us get caught up in the game so much. And we have dreams. I mean, my dreams are about getting hit, dropping back, and getting blindsided, or juking someone and scoring a touchdown. It's like, I want time to refresh my mind, and fishing was my way. I used to go out there and put my waders on and walk out 50 yards, and there's sharks swimming around, there's gators in there, because it's like the marshy areas.
Man, I don't know how you did that, bro.
Yeah, crazy. I was a little country boy. But yeah, you have to find your way of getting away from the game. I feel like just find your little hobby outside of football or baseball and roll with it. All right, bro. Well, let's get to it. We got a great guest coming on today.
Hell yeah.
Someone we've been very excited ever since our guy Joe told us who's going to be our first guest. I mean, we've been blessed with this guy. We got Bert Kreischer coming on today, man. So let's do it.
Let's go.
Sir.
Great Seminole, day one. Well, today's guest needs about zero introduction. Huh? Pretty dang cool. I mean, I can't even believe that this is happening right now, to be completely honest. I'm a huge Netflix fan. He's a Netflix legend, stand-up comedy legend. The Machine, one of the baddest Seminoles to ever live. Not on the gridiron or the baseball field, although he was on that baseball field for a little bit now.
I heard.
But Mr. Bert Kreischer himself, thank you so much for joining.
Heck yeah.
Extremely humbled.
Gentlemen, I can't thank you enough. This is an honor and a privilege, and I'm so pumped. As someone who's been in podcasting for I think 15, 16 years, it's cool to see new faces get into it. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
I mean,
We're
you got one pretty face and you got me. So whatever.
I need to shave my beard, my little beard I got to shave a little bit. Bert, man, we're so thankful that you're on here with us, man. Obviously, we've exchanged DMs back and forth throughout the Seminole season.
You got to talk to Bert already?
Yeah, I did.
That's not.
I was emotionally invested when he got hurt. I was emotionally invested. It's crazy. He brought me. I hadn't gone to a game in forever, and literally, when I left Tallahassee, I was kind of persona non grata. 25 years ago, 1997, I got written up in Rolling Stone magazine as the #1 party animal in the country, and the school didn't want much to do with me. And then, cut to, I have a movie comes out, and I start doing an arena tour, and I did my first show. One of my first big arenas was the arena in Tallahassee, the Civic Center, and I felt so much love from that school that I get emotional talking about. You know how you are about Florida State. I get emotional talking about it, And then I got invited to a game, and I got to watch you play, and I was like, and then when you got hurt, it was like watching one of my like one of my daughter's friends. You know what I mean? Because you're probably my daughter's age.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It is crazy.
I mean, that day. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah,
let's not talk about that day too much. I don't want to make Bert cry. We can't do that.
Yeah, Bert cry. Both of us cry.
So easy these days.
Bert, I mean, speaking of Florida State football, though, I mean, we got Bama game 1, right? I mean, how we feeling, Bert?
I'm going to that game.
You're going?
Heck yeah!
Oh hell yeah, dude! I'm flying. Me and Tom are going together. We reached out to Alfred to see if we can get tickets, the athletic director, and we're doing a bar takeover with our vodka. I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be epic.
Heck yeah, that's sick. Are you the guest bartender at Madso?
Yeah, I'm the guest bartender at Madso again.
Oh, let's go.
It's crazy too because you gotta remember, this is gonna sound whatever it sounds like. Like I'm 52, right? My daughters are both in college, but when I was in college, I would have paid money to guest bartend and have hot chicks open their mouth and go, pour a shot in my mouth. Now I'm doing it, and they're my daughter's age, and all I can think is your parents got you a great orthodontist.
Oh God,
that's so good.
That's awesome.
It's so good. Jordan, you're going too, right?
I will. I'll be there. Yeah,
the whole family's going.
Mom, dad. Yep.
You got to link up with Bert, man.
Oh, for sure.
I can't go.
I know. Baby on the way.
Baby's on the way, man.
Heck
Bert,
yeah.
I'm stuck, man. I'm gonna have to get a rain check with you, but damn, that game's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great, man.
Yeah,
the thing about Florida State is the community shows up for big games like that. Back in the day when I was there, it was always Florida, Miami, and then you always had like a loose one like Notre Dame, right? And but Alabama is going to be humongous, and it's gonna be like Florida State on steroids.
We're about to beat that tail too. That's what I'm coming out saying it. I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun game.
I'm taking the 11.5 or whatever.
I'm taking Florida State money line without a doubt in my mind. Being a big fan of you and obviously watching your career, you have to have a why, and I feel like that's always been the biggest thing with me is having a why. Why am I playing football? So my question to you is why comedy?
When I was a kid, I played baseball with a guy named Brad Radke. He played for the Twins. He pitched. I think he was like a runner-up on the Cy Young Award winner. But I grew up playing baseball. I played baseball with a lot of guys that went pro. And I remember saying to my dad, how come no one talks about me the way they talk about them? No one ever once said, Bert, I bet you're going to get recruited to go to college to play ball. No one ever said that to me. And so when I got recruited by 2 schools to go to play baseball. I was still saying to my dad, but it was Duke and the Citadel. What too odd. It's like getting hit on at a club and you're like, one girl's in a wheelchair and the other girl's got red hair. And you're like, oh, cool. And so my dad said, listen, buddy, when they play baseball, it's just different. It's really natural to them and we can see it. And he's like, your goal in life is to find the thing that for them is baseball. Find the thing that you love, that it doesn't feel like work. You're good at it and you excel and you're just better than everyone else. And so when I first found stand-up, the initial feeling I had when I went on stage was what I remember. Brad Radke came out because basketball and baseball overlapped, right? In high school when I was a kid. And so Brad Radke came out because the coach made him come out to take BP. And he came out in high tops, basketball shorts, and a basketball jersey, and he hit 12 home runs. And one of them hit the library. And I'm like, I've been here since I played fucking fall ball, and I can't get it over the left field fence. This is ridiculous. And so, but when my first time doing stand-up, I did 20 minutes, didn't know what I was talking about, just kind of had a great set. And Derek Brooks was there. And so it was crazy. It was packed out at Potbelly's. You know Potbelly's?
Oh yeah, that was my favorite.
Packed out at Potbelly's. I came home, I called my dad and I was like, I think I found my thing. So initially when I started doing stand-up, it was because I'd never been good at anything. And it was the first thing I was good at. And then as I kept doing stand-up, I realized I just love making people happy. I love making people laugh. It's something I didn't even realize I do. And like when I go to Publix and get a pub sub, my goal was to make the lady making the pub sub laugh, like to get her to smile, to tell a joke, you know? And so I think it's just inside whatever DNA I have is I want to make people happy. And so, you know, that's why I have a cooking show. I like cooking for people. I like drinking with people. I like smiles. I don't like negativity. I don't like bullshit. I like smiles.
Oh, you are kind of you sound like a great Seminole, Bert. You sound like a great Seminole. That's just what we do, baby.
I'm a byproduct of Florida State. I am the definition of what a kid with limited talent, a middle of the road IQ can do. Big things happen for kids out of Florida State.
That's right. Oh, it's so good. Was there a moment in time, a stand-up comedy performance that you were like, I could be the Bert Kreischer, the machine that we all know today?
There was, I think you have many moments like that. Like I remember the first tape I had to make. It was like, cause you do stand-up, you get, people can see you and Will Smith's company saw me. And they were like, yo, make a tape so we can pass it around. And having to make a tape is really stressful because you had to have actual material. Like you had to have actual, like you couldn't just, I could go on stage and fuck around and crush, just mess around. I remember the first night I did stand up, there were 4 Puerto Ricans in the front row, and one of them was going to prison the next day. And I knew that. And I lit that guy up. So like there's like locker room funny, you know? Like the funniest guy on the team in the locker room is hilarious. But then to get on stage and recreate that from nothing to like with actual setup punches was hard. That first tape was one of those moments when I made that tape and I sent it out to LA and everyone, like I had they were dumb jokes, but like, do you remember the show, the dating game?
I remember the show. I never saw it, but I remember it.
They would have a bachelor and they'd have like a girl on one side and they have 3 bachelors and they couldn't see each other. And Chuck Woolery would say, you know, bachelor number 3, if you're going to take Diane on a perfect date, just define your perfect date. And he'd say something cheesy like, I'd take you out to dinner, take you to go see a sunset, and then I'd rub you down. And the crowd would be like, ooh. And the first joke I wrote was, bachelor number 3, Bert, if you were going to take Diane on a date, what's your idea of a perfect date? And I was like, you start drinking around 6. But I'm not picking 9. And you never tried cocaine before. Next thing you know, you're snorting coke off my cock doing pit freezes. That was like the first joke I wrote. And so like that was like a bit like to learn how to write a joke was a big moment. It's like it must be like when you play like peewee ball and you're quarterback and you're just doing what comes natural, and then they go, yo, you got to be able to see the field. And then you're in high school and you start seeing the field. You're like, oh, okay. And then you get to college and things go a little faster. And they're like, yo, you need to be able to get back in the pocket and throw the ball within 4 seconds. And you're like, Jesus Christ, man, this is moving fast as fast. But I think you have several of those moments. And I think my first Netflix special, Secret Time, was a big, big, big moment. That was really like taking all the skill sets and saying, I have to write an hour for a format that is different than any format we're aware of, meaning the Netflix success rides on how you perform in their algorithm. And they told you how their algorithm performed, and they said to us, you know, they said everyone stops watching at 30 minutes. The viewership drops off at 30 minutes. And so I trusted myself, and I took my closer, which was a great closer, and I moved it to 23 minutes in the set, and I rearranged my whole set so that it was very front heavy. And then my rate of retention, meaning the people that watched it until the very end of it, was something like 95%. And it was like, it broke the charts. And everyone's like, what did you do? And I think those moments when you learn to trust yourself and stop listening to anyone else and go like, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to start making promo videos on Instagram. I'm going to make posters and sell them at the shows. I'm going to make a t-shirt. Like those are all like little moments where you start to believe in yourself. And then, yeah, that's it, I guess.
And then you're the machine.
And then you become, and then,
let's go.
And then what happened to me was, and I'm curious to hear both of your takes on this, because I dealt with So I worked my ass off for 21 years. When Georgia was born, my oldest was born in 2004. I worked every weekend for that whole year. And then I've worked just about every weekend for 21 years. And when I filmed my last special, Lucky, in St. Pete, my wife said, why don't you take a year off to be a regular person and not burn it out at both ends and enjoy life. And both the girls are going to get ready to go to college. Let's get them ready to go to college. And I'll tell you what, man, taking that time off, and I know both of you as athletes know what that's like to all of a sudden have time off. It was depressing as fuck.
Yeah. I'll do it right now. Yeah.
Pretty fresh, huh, Jordy?
It's fresh. I woke up today. I'm like, damn, man, what's this feeling in my body? I just feel sick and it sucks. And that's been like one of the hardest things for me is without a schedule, man. I'm like, I wake up and I have no schedule. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do today? And I sit outside and I read. I read books now. I mean,
all day.
I've read 3 books in the past 2 months, and I had never read a book before this time, ever. I remember Clifford the Big Red Dog when I was like 5 years old. But yeah, man, it's hard. It is freaking hard.
Is it
figuring out your next step?
I have a weird question. So I got into a bench press competition with Bussin' with the Boys. The bet was I bet I could bench 325 pounds and 320 pounds by like the Super Bowl. At the time I was benching like 285. So maybe 275. So I made the bet. And then all of a sudden, once that bet was on, going to the gym served a different purpose because I had a goal. So working out for me was like, if I do this exercise properly, and if I push myself to as hard as I can, then I'm guaranteeing that the next time in, I will have gains and that I will be closer to that goal. And it made so much sense to me why and how an athlete works out. Because when you work out, you know you're doing this for preservation, for speed, for money, for success for your team, so you don't let anyone down. So you have a reason to work out. What's it like working out like a regular person now?
I got to be honest with you, I stopped working out. I gave myself a break. I had to give my body a break. I have been struggling, all your injuries start popping up when you lose your muscle, like I've had a shoulder problem my whole life and it's coming alive now. And I feel it every morning I wake up, I feel like a stiff old man. And I'm like, damn, this was probably that Miami hit, or it pops up in my mind. I'm just like,
that Miami.
So yeah, I kind of took a break. Yeah. I got popped one time in the head and I remember it. I don't know by who, but yeah, man, that's been like the hardest thing for me is pushing myself to work out every day. And my dad's 65 years old. And if you saw him, you would think he's probably 40 years old. Like they say, black don't crack. And he is not cracked at all. But yeah, man, I got to get back in the gym. I got to get my arms a little bit bigger. That's all I want is big arms.
Well, I could tell you that my last workout was in 2019. Yeah, the workouts for Bert, my entire career, 5 years in the big leagues, about 2 years on the field. I spent my entire career in the weight room working out. Now that I have nothing, my workouts, I tell my wife, like, hey man, my workouts are golf, and that's about my only workout. I could start to like show you what this, I'm not gonna show the machine up right now, but if I took this shirt off, just know it gets a lot uglier. I tell you that, right? It gets a lot uglier. No, but I think your point is so great, right? Like everything that we do, right? Like you're a comedian. Like I was a baseball player. He's a football player. Like you got people working at Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, doctors, like all the best at what they do, all do what they do for a purpose. And it's a purpose that's beyond just tangible things, right? Like it's that purpose of serving whatever it is you're shooting for. And that leads me back to you, because this is what I wanted to know. Like being a comedian, like what is your purpose day in and day out? Like when you go out on that stage to perform?
Well, it's funny. I just had this conversation with someone. Your purpose shifts. So when you're young, your purpose is to get famous. And I mean get famous meaning get successful. So your purpose is to crush every time you're on that stage. And it's funny, the first time I ever saw Chris Rock do stand-up, it was, got to be 1998, 99, and he bombed on stage. I mean, it was so bad. I was like, dude, what? This is Chris Rock. Like, what are you doing? And then I realized his purpose and my purpose are very different. His purpose is to write his next hour. His purpose is to find out what's actually funny. Chris Rock can sell you a joke that's half funny and you'll cry laughing, and he knows that. So he goes up with no energy, no character, no enthusiasm, no selling it. He goes up with just the words to find out if the words and the idea are funny to you. So I was just saying this to a comic. My purpose on stage these days is to write the next hour for that I can do for Netflix, is to create that next hour. So my whole purpose in every day, everything serves that purpose. So like even this podcast, and this sounds shallow, but when you guys reached out, I was like, absolutely, because I had a purpose. My purpose is, at the beginning of the Alabama game, or in the fourth quarter of the Alabama game, I have to deliver a pump-up speech into a microphone. And I was like, you know what would help? Hanging out with athletes, getting some athlete energy.
Heck yeah, that's going to be sick.
So like and every conversation I have, everything I watch, everything I take in is all based around stand-up. And like, I write a lot of jokes by mishearing things. So like, because I don't know if I'm getting old, but like, people will say things and it won't be the thing I thought they were trying to say, and then it'll make me laugh hysterically, and then I'll go, oh, that'll work as a joke, So my whole purpose all day long is to listen and be aware of comedy, and like the other day I made a joke about a guy who smelled, and I just casually made it, right? We're sitting and I was like, God, man, my Uber driver smelled like 7 Uber drivers, and then someone laughed, and I just wrote it down. They go, what did you just write that down? I was like, that's why I talk, is to find funny things to write down so that I can slide it on stage.
We're doing this podcast is because both of us were athletes whose career ended short due to injury, and I know that when you were filming Bert the Conqueror, you had an injury as well in the middle of your career while filming, and I'm just interested to know like a little bit more on that topic, because when I was digging and trying to find out, like, man, I gotta know more about this guy. I gotta know. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that experience was like?
Well, Bert the Conqueror, I got injured a bunch, and it's funny, only people that have had like legit injuries from performing physical activities know the apprehension you have when you get back into that same activity. Like for me, I blew out my tricep doing my movie The Machine. I ripped it off the bone, and I was doing my own stunt, and I tackled a guy, and I was going down a flight of stairs with him, and I just heard pop, 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 and I went, oh, that's not good. And then when I got back, I had to have surgery to reconnect my tricep. And man, that moment where you have to start benching again, and you're like, yo, I'm not certain that this thing's healed. I did the therapy, I did all the stuff I'm supposed to do, but like, I'm still nervous. And when I was doing Bert the Conqueror, I fell off a waterfall like 20 feet onto my back. And then I started getting like, and you know what's crazy is you never, in film and television, and I'm just going to speak for me, you never get hurt doing the thing you think is going to get you hurt. It's never skydiving. It's never skiing behind a horse. Like we did this thing where we skied behind horses at full speed. It's not that. It's not the rope swing. It's not the bungee jump. It's the dumbest thing gets you hurt. And for me, it was rappelling. I got hurt. Man, I got a bad one. I hope you guys are cool with me telling this story. I ruptured a testicle at a water park in New Jersey. and it was like it. You can find pictures of it on the internet if you're interested.
Is it still alive?
No, it ballooned up. I mean, you got to see it if you saw it. It's the place is called Action Park in New Jersey, and it's notorious for injuries. They used to call it Class Action Park or Traction Park. It is. Johnny Knoxville made a movie about it, and they had a water slide that sent you off a 10-meter height. So you're up 30 feet in the air, and the water slide just shoots you out. And I tried to catch myself. I landed directly on my right testicle, and it ballooned up like a lemon. Like, it was huge, and it was pink, and it was massive. And I'm like, dude, it's a fucking water slide. How has this happened? Here's the worst part. You ready? So it happens, and then the park, I have to go to the hospital because I'm pretty freaked out. And if by the way, if you saw a picture of it, you'd be like, what the fuck? It's so bad.
We believe you, Bert. We believe you.
I hope some of your fans just Google, find the picture, and send it to you, and you're gonna go, what do I look?
It's on Google?
Oh, it's on X. It's on Twitter. I posted it on Twitter. So here's the best part is that, a water park, like you guys grew up in Florida, like water parks are run by kids, right? And so there's a girl that works at like safety, whatever. And she's like, gotta be like 16 years old. And she comes in the bathroom. At the time, I'm like 42. She comes in the bathroom and she's like, I understand there's been an injury. I said, yeah, my testicle. He goes, I'll need to see it. And I went, my mom definitely not doing that. And she goes, sir, I work for the park. I need to see it. And I said, you're one 16-year-old in a room with 3 40-year-old men. I'm not going to take my testicles out in front of you. So she goes, let me go get one of my coworkers, a colleague. She brings in a 15-year-old girl, and they're both sitting there. And they're like, sir, we need to see the injury before you're allowed to leave the park. So I was like, all right, you know what? Turn on the cameras. So we turn on all the cameras, and they go, say that to the camera that you are saying that in order for me to leave this bathroom, you have to see my testicles. She goes, I am asking and requesting to see the injured area now. And I go, great. I go, I want one camera on my testicles and one camera on their faces. I pulled out my balls, and the girl was like, oh my God, go to the hospital immediately. It was so bad. And then I went to the hospital and spent the night there. But yeah, it's never the thing you think it's going to be. It's always it's never the dangerous thing, like skydiving or riding motorcycles. It's always like shovel racing. And you're like, what?
God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. God, dog, that is freaking crazy. I mean, I'm not going on X to find that picture. No, I'd never.
I probably will. I'll go check it out.
It's worth the Google.
And you mentioned the word bomb. And Bert, I got to be honest, like I love comedy, but I never knew like the term bomb meant like, it's like you bombed a test, right? Like it was no good. What, like, have you ever bombed it? Number one. And number two, if so, like, how do you manage that moment? Because I'd imagine it's something similar to the feeling of like throwing
5 interceptions,
3, 4, 5 interceptions against Notre Dame to Kyle Hamilton. I'm sorry about that, bro.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me.
How do you like handle, like, how do you push through those moments?
The worst I've ever bombed ever in my life was in Miami at the Miami Improv. I can almost tell you the exact date. It was May. It was the beginning of summer in Miami. I'd say May 2006, and I didn't sell any tickets, and there was this comic. I'm gonna say his name because he's a great comic. He's a good friend, but he's a Mexican comic who was starting to sell tickets. Steve Trevino, and he had a guy with him, and they said, "Yo, what if we put you guys all on the show? Ricky Cruz, DJ Cooch, Steve Trevino, and Bert, and we'll put you all on the show." Now, Miami Improv, notoriously Latino, if not Latino black club. That's it. It's not. Some people go in there without
we could fit in
without a lick of English. No, like not even know how to speak English. And I knew I was in trouble when they did the lineup, and they're like, "Hey, ladies, gentlemen, who's ready to see a show?" And they're playing Pitbull, and Pitbull's in the audience. I swear to God, Pitbull's in the audience, and they're going nuts. And they're like, "Your host tonight, Ricky Cruz." Place goes nuts. Coming up next, a DJ Gucci. And Steve Trevino. And finally, Bert Kreischer. And I heard And my name sounded like a hate crime. And I was like, oh my God. I bombed so bad, I could not get out of it. I mean, no joke. There was a guy in the front row, and he was doing this, right? And I was like, sweat was dripping off my nose. It was dripping off my chin. I had flop sweat. I was bombing so bad. None of my jokes worked at all. And even one point, I'm like, I'm not certain everyone here speaks English. And no one laughed at that. And the guy in the front row was doing this. And he goes, I go, what? And he goes, I'm going to beat you with that baseball bat. And I, as a joke, as a kid who grew up in Florida playing baseball, I go, oh, you must be Dominican. No laugh, nothing. I got nothing off of it. And so I'm like, fuck. So I did Friday first show, Friday second show, bombed. Saturday we have 3 shows. Saturday first show I bomb. Saturday second show I go, fuck it. I'm done. I get on stage and I said, listen, I'm not even going to start my act. I'm going to just let you know that you guys will not like me. And they're just like, we already don't like you and we haven't even met you. And I said, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up 2 chairs. I'm going to 3 chairs. I'm going to sit in the middle. I want a black guy sitting next to me and I want a Cuban guy sitting next to me. And I want you to translate my jokes to your people. And I remember and all of a sudden everyone's like, okay, this is fun. I go, I don't just want like a black guy. I want a Zopound. I'm talking Haitian gold fronts. I want a guy that drives a donk. I need the blackest dude in here. Guy sticks his hand up. I was like, come on up. He gets up. I go, I don't want just Cuban. I want like I just got here last week Cuban. I want barely no English Cuban. And I get a guy sticks his hand up. Now the crowd's loving me. I go, get us a bottle of tequila. They had just come out with the coffee tequila that with the Patron coffee tequila. So I got us on stage. We started drinking. And I said, all right, I'm going to tell a joke the way I would say it. And then I need you guys to translate. So I had the mic. So the first was I was trying to talk to this girl at a bar, right? And everyone's quiet. I hand it to the black dude. And he says, quote unquote, hey, can a player get some conversation? The place goes fucking bananas and I'm off to the fucking races. I remember at one point I just started saying things like, you know what I do to please a woman orally? And then they just grab the mic and go, let me show you. It was the funnest night. But in those moments when you're forced to pivot, that's when you become your best version of yourself because you let go. It's got to be, I'm sure, it's like the yips. You know, you ever heard of the yips?
Oof. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Jordan might have had him.
I'm probably the first quarterback that ever had him before.
But it's like that.
A year and a half.
Calm enough, you get the yips, and then you get out of your head, and you just become the pure joy that is the reason you got into it, and you have fun, and you let go of inhibitions, and you say fucked up shit, and then and people forgive you because they know your intent is comedy, and that night was like a big learning moment for me because I was like, don't just barrel through with 1 hour of material and try to tell them what you do. Relate to the audience and find a middle ground of what makes you. And that was, but yeah, I've bombed a lot.
I mean, so it sounds like the way to get out of bombing is almost relatable to an athlete, right? Where it's eventually you get to the point of fuck it, right? Yeah. Like, I'm just going to go be me and I don't really give a damn what anyone in the crowd or at home watching this game thinks about me. I'm going to put my best foot forward. And at the end of the day, I'm going back home to my wife and my kids and I'm going to be me. So that's crazy, right? Like how relatable.
There's a version of that I'm curious to see if it's a parallel is like, so there's guys in comedy who are really good at following the rules and doing the rules right and playing the game right and getting the right manager and knowing the right people and getting into the festivals at the right time and having the right kind of material regarding like political correctness or wokeness or the exact opposite where there's guys that know how to play the game. And then there's guys like Johnny Manziel who are wildly hysterical. I mean, crazy funny on stage in New York and in LA, wildly fucking incredibly talented. But then you try to put them on like an hour special and they can't figure out the medium because they only know one speed and that's play like high school football. Like, just throw as far as you can, run if you want. I don't care. Don't listen to the coach. And I'm curious, like, how that is in sports, especially baseball, because baseball is such like a, like, I never listened when they were like, it's 3 balls, no strikes, don't swing. I never fucking listened. That's my favorite
Hell
pitch
no.
to swing at.
It's your chance.
That's my favorite pitch in the world. He's going to throw me a strike. You're telling me to not swing when I get my fucking meatball?
I got to tell you, you got big nards, because to swing 3-0, it takes a different kind of I don't give a damn mentality to swing at a 3-0 pitch. Because, Bert, I got to be honest, on the flip side of things, I'm 5'8", and I get to easy.
Maybe.
If I get to 3-0, I'm like, oh my God, I'm 1 ball away from walking. Just throw a ball, please, on base percentage. That's what they pay anyway, right? On base percentage, everything, OPS, on base percentage go up. Like, damn it, just let me get on base. I'll take my walk. But Jordan, I think that what Bert said's cool too, right? Like, it's Johnny Manziel played quarterback in a certain type of way where it was like all reins off. Throw out the playbook. He probably never even opened the damn thing. Just let Johnny go be Johnny football. And I think, like, that was a bit of like your revival too, right? Of like
Coach Norvell here in this one, but yeah.
Right. It's like
Yeah.
like you're a quarterback that can break an ankle and take off for a 75-yard
my own ankle
touchdown. Easy.
Come on now. Come on now.
Bro, if this is freeing you up to
I
talk,
like
Bert,
it.
Bert, I have never like really sat down and even like, ankle's not even a word that I even use anymore. Like, I just say leg. Like, how's your leg doing, Jordan? Everything good?
I got the shoe downstairs still that they cut off my foot, sitting right on.
He pulls it out on the camera yesterday. He's like, hey, should I bring this shoe for the podcast with Bert tomorrow? I'm like, God dang, bro. You're really pulling the best out of my brother, Bert. I appreciate you, man. This is great.
But it's fun. It's freeing to, like, it's like, there's a lot of comics that do crowd work, and crowd work's fun. It's fun. And man, as an audience member, if you watch great crowd work, really good crowd work, you'll think you saw the best comedy show of your entire life. But it doesn't really get you anywhere. Like, it's like, it doesn't teach you the craft. It doesn't, I remember maybe the example is Tim Tebow. I remember being like, why can't we just allow him to play? He's fun to watch play. And they're like, well, his arm, like the experts were like, he doesn't get his arm up in time. And I never could understand that. I was like, yeah, but it looks like he's winning. Why isn't someone, and everyone's like, it's just not worth our effort, because we'd rather get with a guy we can teach. And it's so funny. I know a lot of crowd work guys that are great crowd work guys, but they can't craft an hour. And you can't put them in an arena because they can't figure out how to make an hour where they can't do it without interactions. And I was that guy for a period of time. When I was doing clubs in like the 2010 and 2011, man, crowd work was such an easy format to like murder. And people thought you were a god. They're like, how did you come up with that? And you're like, well, I've been doing that joke in crowd work for now 5 years. So you think it's like, it's brilliant. But if I look to a black chick and I said, have you ever had sex with a white guy? And she says, no, I have an answer for that. And it was always a great answer. Oh, you should try it. It's like getting your ears pierced. You feel a little prick and it's over. And everyone's like, he just came up with that? And you're like, no, I've been doing it for fucking 10 years. So what you're saying is Coach Norvell did not know how to coach quarterbacks?
No, Coach Norvell is the best quarterback coach.
I don't ever want to make Norvell
No,
mad.
I don't know. This might be a little bit early to say this, but early on in my career, I watched a lot of film. I was very heavy into the playbook, and I think after that Notre Dame game, which that was like the turning point of my career, I threw the film out the window. Quarterbacks don't listen to me. Do not listen to this, but it's everyone I feel like has their own thing. I threw the playbook out of the window. I threw the film out of the window. I wanted to go out there and just play football. I feel like we did so much inside the film room of watching what the safeties do and what this cornerback does. And it's like, I get to the game and the guy's doing something completely different. I'm like, I want to go out there and be able to see it and see what he's doing this game, because they might have something off of me that the guy last week didn't have. So that was my biggest thing. I didn't watch a lot of film my last 2 years of playing football at Florida State, which takes a lot for me to say because I was never going to say that. I was going to take that to the grave with me.
And you let it out the very first
film.
podcast you did.
Heck yeah, we're letting it out just because you're here, man.
We're off to a hot start, baby.
Heck yeah.
Well, can I ask you a question? And this is like a wild question, and if it dips into making you uncomfortable with ego, please let me know. But like, is it possible that that the format of watching film to know what the safeties do to make you comfortable what safeties may do, maybe that's right for a quarterback that's not as naturally gifted as you, and but is it possible for like I'll tell you, there's people that go to acting class every single day. They go to acting class just to get comfortable. And I've acted, and I've never took an acting class ever. I don't think it's that hard. It's like, yeah, if you can get out of your own way, you can be a great actor. And so I wonder if the same is about being a quarterback. It's like they're trying to teach you things that naturally or instinctually you pick up and see differently. Like you work on a different frequency than everyone else, and they're assuming your frequency is lower, and they got to teach you what a safety may be doing. When in your head you go, no, I see it, I already know it, I don't need to watch film to figure out what that guy's going to do. Is that possible?
Honestly, man, I think it's possible in college. When you get to the NFL and watching how Aaron Rodgers worked and watched film, that was like the biggest shock for me because, Aaron had me doing little film work. I'm not going to get into what he had me doing, but he had me watching things that the defense does every single week. And that was my job and Adrian Martinez's job throughout the whole season, was to go and watch this defense and watch what this guy does, because he is so smart that he can see if this guy gives this. Like he's so smart with everything. Like he knows everything the defense is doing before they even know what they're doing. So I feel like in college it is a lot easier because, there were certain games, like I can remember a UNC game from 2022, I believe, 2021, where every time a safety got over the hash, I knew I was getting field pressure, or vice versa. If that safety got over the hash a little bit too much in cover 2 or whatever coverage it was, that corner was coming. So it was so stuck in my head that I watched it with my coaches. So I'm like, I'm watching so much film with my coaches. Why am I going to go home and drain my mind? Because I want to be able to sleep tonight. I don't want to see this cover 2 in my mind the entire night. I'm trying to sleep. So I could see it all. I was
very wild because everyone else has regular jobs. Like when I worked at Barnes and Noble, I would dream of that. I would have dreams that I was shelving books. And so you dreamt football also?
All day long, man. That's why I had to start going to recess.
Sometimes nightmares.
Oh, nightmares, bad blindside hits. I'm telling you all the time. But that's why I started going to recess a little bit more at night. So the sleep was limited.
You make Bert proud with that.
I didn't. Yeah.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
Hey, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers for a second. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. I met him. One of the first times I ever did an arena was in Green Bay, across from Lambeau. It's an arena over there. And I DM'd him or something, and he was like, "Are you fucking with me?" I was like, "No, I'm a huge fan," or whatever. And he was like, "Cool, I'll stop by after practice." I would love to hear your first impression of Aaron Rodgers, because I've given mine, but I would love to hear the first time you met Aaron Rodgers, knowing who Aaron Rodgers was, and knowing everything about him, what your first impression was.
So going in, I was very, very nervous. When I got drafted by the Jets, I was like, "Oh shit, I got to go deal with him." Because I've heard he was the biggest ass ever. I heard it from so many different people, and you hear the stories of how he treated his backup quarterback. So I walked in there so scared. Aaron changed my mind on everything. He walked into the meeting room the first day, and he was just so welcoming. It made me feel comfortable. He was kind of like, he was my coach. Like he was the one that was getting me up on the board and asking me questions. He was the one that checking how you doing. He was the one where my ankle wasn't getting better. He was asking me, can I get him? Can he get me connected with his doctor in California? So Aaron was such a special person, man. I just remember him sitting up on the damn table with his bare feet. My meeting rooms in college, I had to sit up straight, and you had to say yes sir, no sir. So walking in there, and Aaron's up, his feet are crossed up on the table with his bare feet, and I'm sitting right there, and I'm just like, you can't. Obviously, I'm not going to say anything. I got Tyrod Taylor next to me. I'm like, this is like a dream come true, man. And Aaron's running the meeting, so being around him and how smart he is, yeah, man, it was a blessing just to get around him and he taught me a lot, and I'm grateful for him for sure.
He's disarmingly casually cool, right?
Very cool.
Yeah, he came into our
Very,
tour
very
bus.
cool.
Came into our tour bus with wet hair and like a ponytail, and was like, he's like, "How you guys doing?" And we're like, "Good." And we're like, "How was practice?" And he just started telling us secrets that I was like, we had cameras on. I was like, "Hey guys, can we turn the cameras off?" I mean, he was like talking about whether or not he was going to come back to Green Bay, and like it was like so casual. I was like, this is the chillest dude I've ever met in my fucking life.
Yeah, he is great, especially his conspiracy theories. I mean, if you can
yeah,
talk about those, you'll go crazy.
Lost.
You'll go crazy.
When your career is done in comedy, whenever that day comes for you, what is it that you want to have people always remember outside of one of the greatest Seminoles to ever live? What is it that you want everybody to remember about Bert Kreischer?
You know, it's funny. I talked about that in therapy. You can't control that.
Sorry.
No.
We're emotional over here.
We are.
because the truth is, you know, I wanted to make sure I left a legacy. So I got really caught up in like creating festivals, putting on a cruise, trying to put out the biggest numbers, and I got caught up in like achieving so that I would leave somewhat of a legacy. And then I got to a place when I took time off where I was like, oh, you can't control any of that, because as much as you try to achieve, other people, it turns other people off from you. And then I was like, my main thing I've always wanted is, in life, and I guess this is just with the people that I, you know, my friends, like comics and like family members, and I always just want people to go like when they're having a good time, like, you know, it's like a sunset and someone orders margaritas, and then the waitress says, should you guys want to get floaters on those? So we get a shot of tequila you can pour on there. Someone goes, oh, I wish Bert was here. Like, that's it. Like when I pass, you know, like they're like, God, it would be cool if Bert was here, man. God, can you imagine if Bert was here? That would be like you're on a booze cruise in Key West and you're with your family, and they're like, oh, I wish Dad was here. Dad would make this so fun. Because I think my legacy is I've just tried to make everyone have a good time. I want everyone to have a blast. I want everyone to be happy. And that's it. I don't need to be known as one of the greatest comics. I don't need to be known as one of the greatest storytellers, one of the greatest actors. I'll never get known as one of the greatest podcasters. but
I think it's great.
If people, you know, like people go, man, he was a cool dad and he was a cool husband, and his relationship with his wife seemed like they have fun. Him and his kids always seemed like they had a great time, and like I love how open he was about their relationship. Just little things like that, you know, that, you know, it's like, I'm a big fan of like, you know, it's, when you look at legacies, like I look at like my heroes, you know, and like, I think Michael Jordan's legacy is like, I think competition's cool. I think it is cool. And I think to be competitive is sexy. I think him and Kelly Slater are like two guys that have allowed themselves to be driven by competition and competitiveness and greatness. And I think that's so cool. And then I think, you know, I may not be one of those guys. I may just be like a Andy Irons or a Nathan Florence. Those are surfers, or just like a Scottie Pippen or Dirk, you know, like, or maybe like a Charlie Ward, you know, like Charlie Ward's a great example of a great guy who had a great career, Heisman Trophy, went to the NBA, had a great career. Listen, and I mean this with respect to Charlie Ward, his name doesn't come up in the topic of sports often, and it should. It should, you know? Take a look at Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman had 3 amazing movies, including a movie that broke cultural history, right? Passes away, and people don't mention him enough. And I think you got to be cool with that. I think Chadwick Boseman should be mentioned almost every day in the likes of James Dean and all the legends that got taken from us too soon. You know, Marilyn Monroe, James Dean, Kurt Cobain, Jim Morrison, all these legends that died young. He should be mentioned with them often, but he's not. So you can't control that. And so, but you know what you can say? Chadwick Boseman, everyone that's ever met him said he was a cool fucking dude. Like a cool fucking dude. by the way, he passed with dignity, and he was like, "Yo, it's kind of a cool way to pass. It's just be like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking milk this. I'm just gonna go out my way, you know." It's like Norm Macdonald did it that way. So I don't know. I hope people I hope every time someone has a drink and they send them a floater, they go, "Oh, Bert would have loved this."
Hey, that might be our new cheers, bro. Every time, man.
Yeah.
Just, hey, to Bert. To Bert.
Heck yeah.
That would be an honor if everyone started toasting to me. Wait, Bert died? You go, no. I just like to toast to Bert.
You got to make that hat line, man. We'll buy it. Toast to Bert. Dude, thank you so much for jumping on here. I mean, I can't even believe that this actually happened today. I'm so incredibly grateful. It's our first ever episode, and we got one of the greatest Seminoles to ever live, obviously a comedian, but in my short time and getting to know you, an incredible human. And I think that's something we definitely want to touch on. Is your profession is one thing, but who you are as a human and the legacy you want to leave goes so far beyond what people see on TV. So thank you so much. This was incredible. Toast to Bert, baby.
Yeah, toast to Bert.
Go Nose.
Gentlemen,
Go Nose, baby. Go Nose.
Thank you. And
thank you, man.
Bert, thank you.
On this journey. I can't wait to see where it leads you guys. I can say this with absolute certainty is I met dudes when they started their podcast, and now some of them have the biggest podcast in the world. And so it all starts, it's just like sports. It all starts with that, picking up the ball the first time and going like, oh, this is fun. I enjoy this. And then you get obsessed with it. And then it becomes your identity. And you're like, God damn, I love this. And this is the first step to that journey. So congratulations. And I'm very honored to be your first guest. And I can't wait till you have Segura on. And because Segura is going to die for this.
That's so cool, man. Thank you so much. It's incredible, man. Thank you,
man. Yes, sir.
Go Noles, baby.
I'll see you guys I'll see you at the Alabama game.
Yeah, see you in a few weeks, man. Let's have a few
Let's
beers.
go.
Let's go.
And we'll do it
To Bert.
Yes, sir.
To Bert.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thanks, man. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Man, that was incredible. I mean, simple, right? Like, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? I just want to make people smile. That's what we're about. This world needs more of that today. I can tell you that without question. Smile, smile, smile. Life's good even when it sucks, man. That was incredible. Bert Kreischer, thank you so much. Great Seminole. Fantastic podcast. The Machine, go check it out on Netflix. Follow him on all social media that you can. I mean, not that he needs our help.
Yeah, no, we need some help.
We need the help. 3+ million followers. But no, man, that was special stuff. Like I said, he's a great Seminole. So let's get into our Seminoles.
Sir.
Game 1, coming up here in about 48 hours or so. Our beloved Noles take on the Alabama Crimson Tide, RTOTA. We ain't having none of that. It's going to be pretty darn special. We went from ACC champions in 2023 to last in the ACC a year later. You've had ups, downs, lefts, rights in your whole career at Florida State. What's it like? You played LSU 2 times to open up a season. How does a game like this have the ability to set the tone for the entire year?
I always say that, the first game is the most important game of your season. At the end of the day, you have to go in and all the work that you put in spring, all the work you put in the summer. At the end of the day, all that shit doesn't matter at all. No matter how many stadiums you ran, it does not matter. You have to go into that game with the mindset that you are going to dominate. I remember sitting in my bed before those games, those LSU games, and sitting in my bed, bro, and just envisioning celebrating after the game, celebrating scoring touchdowns, and I used to meditate. I used to put my little headphones on and sit in my bed. If you would have saw me, you would have thought I was crazy. But I used to sit there and I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm like, my teammates know not to text me, leave me alone before I go to bed. And when I wake up in the morning, I am envisioning scoring touchdowns because that's how much I love the garnet and gold. It meant that much to me, and I would give anything. I would give anything in the world, all my money back that I've ever made to play one more game for Florida State. But this game means so much, and I know Coach Norvell and that coaching staff is pushing those guys hard. Coach Norvell knows that this is his year. This is his year to turn the narrative around. What everyone says about him, that bothers me a lot. A lot of people talk bad about Coach Norvell, and that man loves garnet and gold and gives his heart and soul to that program. So I know he's pushing those guys hard. And Mike Norvell is someone I've watched, obviously, towards the end of my career and watched how he treated his recruits and how real he is. And I wish I had that a little bit earlier. But yeah, bro, like watching how he treats his recruits nonstop is they come in and he says, you're going to come in here and work and I'm going to coach you hard and I'm going to love you hard. And he is so real about that. He's the first person in the building every day. Always has energy, 5:30 a.m., 5:30 p.m., 12 o'clock at night. And you could always call him. I'm excited, bro. Really excited.
Me too.
I know you are.
Let's go, baby. I mean, that was my dream to be a Florida State Seminole on the gridiron. I just, about 6 inches short. I got the weight though. I got the weight, bro. I got the weight. I'm there. It's so damn hard to win in sports. Like, it is so damn hard. And the frustration that comes from fans is just love, right? Like, at the end of the day, like, and in the moment, they're upset because the team that they love so much is losing. But these are 18 to now, I guess, 23, 24-year-old young men out there going out there to perform for the name on the front of their jersey. So many things have to go right to win a football game. The preparation that goes in on both sides is real, but it's so damn hard to win in sports, man. So I as a fan, I just hope that this is the year for Mike Norvell. He's a great man. Tommy Castellanos, right? It's his first year as a quarterback at Florida State. And in his very first game, he's having to face the Alabama Crimson Tide. Can you just talk a little bit of like what was that moment like in preparing to face such a big SEC opponent? Like, are you focused on the opponent, or is it truly more so just taking care of the business? Like you would always say, like, we're all that matters. Like, if we just focus on us, that'll take care of itself. Is that the truth?
Oh, that's real.
It is.
That was the realest thing that I figured out throughout my career. Is early on, it was so much about the individual. And I saw a lot of guys that were kind of doing their own thing. They were worried about the stats, worrying about scoring touchdowns, worried about, man, I could tell you, I could give a damn if I scored 0 touchdowns, threw 0 touchdowns. I don't care if I was on the field. I just wanted to win. And I wanted to take part and help, whether I was on the sidelines or on the field. I wanted to just win. And I think I lost so much at the beginning of my career that I told myself, I remember there was an interview, I said, will not lose another game. And ever since that interview, I never lost a game because I put my mind to winning. And that's my favorite thing about Tommy is his mindset. No matter what people say and the little stuff that went on with the little crap talking, I love it. I love it.
Me too. I just wish he stood.
I know, but you got to be smart. And there's probably Coach Norvell in his ear a little bit telling him, all right, calm it down a little bit. We don't want to piss these guys off. But at the same time, bro, you have to have that confidence. We need that at Florida State. I wasn't the big guy that was going out and speaking about my confidence, but in my mind, I thought I was the best player on the field every time I touched the field. And I think that's the most important thing about playing quarterback. And I know that inspires the guys around him. Tommy is not a tall guy at all. I don't know if you've seen him in person, but he's not. But that kid goes out and gives 100% of his heart every single time he's on the field. We played him.
Up in Boston College, bro. It was back and forth.
They almost got us.
Man.
They almost got us. So I'm excited to see him. I know he's ready. I know he's excited. I've talked with Coach Tokars and Coach Norvell, and they're excited to see him go out there. And the main thing, like my main piece of advice always to quarterbacks is that next play mentality. I know it's something that we say, and I used to say it all the time. I never really understood what it meant. But it's okay to throw the ball away. It's okay. That was one of my biggest things early on in my career. I threw a lot of interceptions that were stupid. And those last 2 years, there was a lot of times where I'm throwing the ball away. I wish I would have slid a little bit early on one play. It's okay for the next play. You don't have to be the superhero on every play. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned is whether it's you throw an interception the play before, next play. All right, I can go to the sideline. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Let my teammates know with a smile on my face that I have confidence that we're going to go back out the next play and score. That's the biggest thing, and I know he's so ready for it.
Let's go. To me, as a non-football knowing much of a person, how you think and how you prepare is ultimately the result that you see on the field. And at the end of the day, whatever result does come from it, damn it, forget it, on to the next. We got something else to accomplish. And I know that was my favorite part about Norvell and listening to him speak and the few stories that you let me know from your experience. But I think it's going to be a great year, man. Listen, this is Florida State. The NIL is absolutely bananas. The transfer portal's crazy. Every year you turn on the damn TV and you're looking at players from all over the country on this new roster. I cannot imagine how difficult that is to be able to get a hold of. But you know, I'm a big believer in Mike Norvell, and I love what they're putting together up there. How about Gus Malzahn, like making the move from UCF to Florida State? He was at Auburn. I was at the national championship game, Florida State Auburn, a while back. I've always loved the way Gus called an offense because it was almost like a video game. And I feel like, I don't know anything, but I feel like Tommy Castellanos and the way he plays football is similar to you, right? Like it's if my first read or second read's not there, haul tail, right? Like I feel like Gus Malzahn is going to do an amazing job of like putting together this plan to get the most out of his quarterback. Is that something that you feel as well?
100%. His offense is so special, and obviously Coach Norvell worked under Malzahn. He was a GA.
Oh, wow.
Malzahn was, I don't know if he's head coach or what it was, but he worked under him. So all of they have very similar concepts, obviously different mindsets when it comes to different things, but Coach Malzahn is a great coach. I think his accent is so cool too. I did not know he was country like that at all when I met him.
Yeah, because you don't see it.
Not at all. But I heard he's a great guy. Doesn't allow much cussing, and that's pretty cool too. I like to cuss, but that's cool. Like it's just a different mindset that we needed. We just needed this guy to come in here, and he got his quarterback, and that's what we needed, is a quarterback that's willing to go out there and give everything. I mean, you got to be willing to die on that field. And that's what I love about Tommy. And I feel like he loves Florida State. And obviously he grew up a big Florida State fan. Didn't have the opportunity to go there, but he got his opportunity now. So he can go out there and show who he is, not just on the field, but I told him a big part of being a Seminole is the person that you are off the field. And I just can't wait to see him excel and take off, man.
That's awesome. So I guess I'll leave you with this last thing. What is the number one most important key for Florida State to win this game? What's the most important key thing that you want to see happen? It needs to happen.
The mindset. I want to see guys go out there and just be confident. We're at Florida State, and I get tired of people talking down on Florida State. Like, it's Florida State University, and I think we forget about it a lot. I mean, when that whole scandal went down, not scandal, but whatever it was, where we didn't get into the playoffs. I don't want to get started on that because it kind of lights a fire under me, gets me pretty pissed off. But we talk about the ACC and we talk about this stuff. LSU was a very good SEC team, no matter how many people want to say it. Jaden Daniels you see what type of quarterback he is. He was the best quarterback in college football in 2023. We went out there and dominated them without a doubt. Like, there was no question who was the best team on that field. And it bothers me so much that we talk so down on the ACC and that football that's being played there, because there's been a lot of Florida State first SEC teams that Florida State came out on top. And it's kind of been something that's been boiling on me because I hear about it so much. And I actually saw a TikTok this morning. There was someone talking about the SEC, and it's just like, okay, the SEC, yes, those guys may be a little bit bigger, but the heart's the same, man. We're all on the field, and we're where we're supposed to be. And I'm choosing Florida State every single time. So I can't wait to watch them boys go out there and do what they do.
Hey, man, I mean, when you got confidence, I feel better in the whole SEC, ACC thing. My quick opinion is if you're the SEC and you got all that money, well, then damn it, you better win. And they do win. But they got all the money in the world. I mean, it's like the New York Yankees. The Yankees don't ever have an excuse not to win a World Series. They don't. Nope. Marlins, Rays, all those teams, they got an excuse. But you got all that money, damn it, and you buy players today, you better win. So, anyway, you got to be fired up now. But, yeah, man, I'm excited, bro. I know you're going to be up there. I'll be home. Can't wait to get back to football season, man. It's here. 2 days away for our Knowles. Let's go, baby.
Let's do it.
Let's beat up on the tie. Let's do it, bro. It's awesome. Well, that wraps up the first episode of Travis. Take 2, baby.
Yes, sir.
Take 2 of them.
Yes, sir.
That was awesome, bro. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. And I just like to thank all y'all from the bottom of my heart. I cannot believe that we got Jordan Travis to come on air and talk. This is my first time that I got to have a conversation with him like this too. So I'm so damn happy, man. Thank you so much. And I might as well finish it with a Go Knowles, man.
Go Knowles,
thank you so
baby.
much for joining.